think clairvoyance is something that you hear about a lot because seeing pictures is pretty cool and pretty interesting and just a common phrase. Figure out what psychic sense you're naturally the best at first and then work on developing that. So if you see pictures all the time, clairvoyance is probably going to be your jam. And it would be you learning how to focus on which picture comes to you. So for the best way I can describe it is when I'm doing a reading, it depends on the person, right? Which is kind of interesting too, of how I'll get the information for them. If they're a visual person and they like pictures, I'll get pictures. If they're more auditory and they are more of a word person and lots of detail, I'll hear it in my head, or I'll hear that person, or if it has something to do with a voice or some specific message. If they're more sentient, then it would be that feeling. So whatever your natural communication style is probably the best way for you to start developing your psychic abilities. So when you're doing clairvoyance, it's images, right? You can practice your imagery by picturing things. So if you're trying to see something in the future, then you want a great big huge library of all different things that it could be because it's the future, right? We don't know what it is yet. So the more you practice opening your mind to seeing different things or getting the different impressions and letting them come in and go out, the better. When you get some type of psychic information, it feels very normal. I guess it's a good way to say it. It's not some huge thunder in the sky. I mean, sometimes it can be, but majority of the time it's you. It's just you. And you're just tuning into that frequency, that vibration, and you're getting a message and you're seeing the future or you're seeing something for someone. So whether it's like psychometry where you touch something and you get an impression off of it, same idea. Like you have to practice touching something and being open to what comes. So when you're focusing on pictures, it would be use guided meditations a lot. So you can start practicing seeing pictures, getting pictures, and letting them come to you rather than forcing yourself to create them. And if you're not a visual person at all, because there's some people that don't see any pictures ever, then if that's what you're going to use for your psychic abilities, well, one, you would definitely know that you're getting something psychic, right? Because you don't see them naturally. But then you have to practice and work a little bit harder because you're going to have to train yourself on how to see a picture, how to get it. And it may start with memory and then go into something new. But you can do it, for one. You can do it. You can develop in any sense you want. Just depends on how much energy and effort you want to put into it. And the clairvoyant stuff, I would focus on what your intention is of getting it, right? And then what you're going to do with it once you have it. So that would be my one warning piece. So if you see the picture and you get the picture, it doesn't go away. Like you have it's like in your brain. The more clear you are on what types of images that you want, there's a few different theories that you can kind of edit the information that you get, or you have to be open and get everything, right? But if you're not comfortable with everything, then that's not going to work. Like, I don't want to see gory stuff. Why? Because I don't want to see it. So I can get the impression of what something is without having to see that picture because I personally don't like that stuff. So I would be very clear about what I want to see or what I don't want to see. And if you're totally open to everything, fabulous. And if there's certain things that you don't like or that you would be uncomfortable with, just make it very clear to yourself that those are acceptable, especially if you're talking about working with spirits or people on the other side, or if you believe in different realms or different places or worlds, right, dimensions, that you'd want to know what you're opening yourself up to and what things that you're going to see, right? Like if aliens scare you, well, then you would probably want to, say something to yourself about how don't let them in. And maybe you don't want to see them. So if that's not something that you want to keep in your head and have it because it looks like a memory after you get the impression, it'll feel like a memory because it is, right? Even though you may be seeing somebody else's something or maybe seeing the future, a lot of times it'll just get chopped into something that happened, even if it never comes to pass.